Right, maybe this time we can make it down to a site of grace in the Eternal City without thoroughly botching everything. I know it's doable. I've done it with others. Just seems to be old Wes who's having difficulty. Big silly bugger. But then I've also got other plans for him. I want to try out some different weapons. Nothing wrong with these great swords, it's just they're the only thing he's really used. And maybe we want to... Oof. That was a big old drop. Torrent nearly fell over. Yeah, maybe we want to get just a little bit more unga bunga with our weapons. I don't know if we want to go full colossal weapon or anything like that. But I do have something in mind to try at least. I've heard people sing its praises. And I'd like to give it a go. Jesus. Also, how have we not picked up that item over there yet? Did we botch the very first jumps? I can't remember now. It's been a few days. Hup. Right, we've made that one, that's good. Yeah, looks as though we didn't even get this far without ruining everything. Wait, stop that. We'll come back and deal with you momentarily. Once we figure out how to get up here. Right, who's first? You? Then you, and then you some more. You're still alive. Problem solved. But yeah, there was an item up on that roof, wasn't there? Where did you come from? Unless you're the lad that was attacking me from a ways away, and you finally shuffled over here. Yeah, I'm sure there was an item up there somewhere. Maybe it's one that you have to get from another angle. Either way, we still haven't got a Sight of Grace. Maybe it's from up here. Can we jump up onto the wall there? No. Sod it. We want to make at least a little bit of progress through the Eternal City before we worry about risky parkour for rewards of potentially dubious quality. These lads. Yeah. You're still there, Scarab. Oof. Lucky boy. Yeah, maybe it was up this way and around somehow or something along those lines. No? Then we should stop worrying about it. Post haste. Smithing stones are always welcome though. Good old regular ass smithing stones. When you've got basic weapons and you need to make them strong, make smithing stones your number one choice. Because it's pretty much your only choice. How many great arrows we got? Not many. Probably buy a few thousand great arrows at some point. Nah. Although, you generally don't need too many. If lads are just going to drop in a hit. Although we seem to be missing now, which is... Yeah. What's that all about, Wes? That's better. We've got no real reason to be great arrowing these guys, aside from the fact that using the great bow every now and again is good, clean fun. This drop looks hefty. Oof. Not too hefty, mind. Nope. And there's the Site of Grace. Lovely. Right, so before we go and spuff all of our runes on the items that I'm thinking of using, let's just pop out to a Site of Grace and test them out. For you see, I've been hearing good things about the pickaxe. And I want to see what it's like. Pretty straightforward combo. Yeah, pretty much what you'd expect. Yeah, it's just a big old whomping machine, really. Oh, that one's nice. I like the old bam bam. The old wombo combo. Yeah, maybe it'd be worth leveling these up and trying them out. They might be a little short on range, but we'll see. Now, where was old Ken? Because he's still hanging around here, it seems. Did we not go back and speak to him after we liberated his fort? Yeah, he's a happy boy. May as well pledge service to him. And whilst we're in the vicinity, we may as well bob over and speak to him at the fort. I've not managed to advance this quest very far with anybody. I don't really know how you advance it beyond this point, but such is life. We'll at least get it as far as we know we can. Hello, demi-human friends. You're here to speak to Ken. I'm also here to speak to Ken, so I'm jumping the queue. How many of these buggers are there? I don't remember there being this many. It's like 8 of the fuckers. Just all chilling. Ken, why can't you control your demi-humans? Now, we should be able to level up these pickaxes quite a bit, because we should be able to buy the smithing stones we need if we don't already have enough. So we're going to need 20 of level 1. Should probably put some Ashes of War on these, make them heavy. No, we haven't even got the thing we need to make them heavy, specifically. The iron wet blade or whatever it is. So I guess we'll just have to do it with specifically heavy Ashes of War. Yeah, if we had the iron wet blade from Stormvale Castle, we'd be able to just use pretty much any Ash of War and put heavy on. But alas. Oh yeah, we've got Dee's Bell Bearing. Good. Oh, we've got a Hero's Rune still just floating around. Let's use that. And then we need 24 of those, so we need 22 more. 24 of those, so we need 16 more. And we need 20 more of those. So we need 8 more of those, so let's burn some more rune. Many burned runes later, we've got 2 heavy pickaxe plus 12. We've actually got 16, so we've got enough to fully get one up to plus 15. But I don't know if they're going to supersede the great swords just yet. So we'll keep them where they are for now and go and try and wreck someone's face with them, see how they get on. Right, that can be our first test subject. Hail, friend. Yeah, pretty strong all round. Not a problem. Oops. Kind of lost track of who we were attacking there. But yeah, very much not a problem all round. And there's a bell bearing, which is very nice. Oh, we've got the tower shield. grand. It appears that we can ask these guys questions, and they don't have a lot of answers. But yeah, range is a bit short, but that's axes for you. Even if they are labelled as hammers in the game, they're still very much axes. People have discovered that they can't power stance with other hammers, but they can power stance with axes, so they've probably just been mislabelled. And they're not terribly short compared to the great swords we're using, so that's good. Where did you come from? I thought I'd killed everyone over here. What's the R2 look like? Like every other attack, it just whomps them into the floor. Good. Oops. Hit me, will you? Well, that's what you get for your troubles. A sound thrashing. Iron spear. Spears just aren't terribly exciting weapons. They're just poke, poke, poke. Not really my jam. Although power stance rapiers were just poke, poke, poke in Souls 2, and I've rather enjoyed those, so there you have it. I'm an inconsistent man. Guess we'll have to test these out on a boss at some point to see what the real damage is like. Or at least a tough enemy. If we can take down a Rune Bear without too much trouble or something like that, then these are probably worth upgrading further than we already have. Piercing attacks are always good. Have we got the spear talisman? No. But yeah, the extra damage that you do with the counter attacks on piercing weapons means that the spear talisman could be a fun counterpart to these. We've got glowy eyes. We'll take your bonus rune. Down we venture into where the Nox Swordstress hangs out. Yeah, with her little pet mimic. No, you haven't seen anything, my dear. Or have you? Surprise, bitch! Okay, I thought you were actually dead by this point. There we go. Might have worked better if it was a proper one-shot kill, but yeah, job done. We got the mimic. Now, this is just full of mimics, isn't it? Yeah. And they ain't no thing. Right, what's the plan, Sam? It's probably not get our butt kicked again by the Draconic Tree Sentinel just yet. Okay, we were sat on like 2 extra flasks. And an extra sacred tear. Good. I was going to say, the fact that we had the second Church of Marika. Shouldn't we be on 8 by now then? Because yeah, we've got the church in Caelid, we've got the second one in Ulcis. So where's the last one? Because I know we can get up to 10 at this point. Did we pass? No, we did go to the second church because we've got the bloody pole blade. So that should be 8. So why have I only got +7? If there's any we missed, it's probably the Kalu church. We just rode past it at some point before we realised there was the sacred tear there. Is my guess. Nope, we've got Kalu. So, how have we been to all these churches and not picked up all the sacred tears that are in them? Let's see if we can't get out of combat and then we can go and investigate some others. Whoops. I mean, that's one way to get out of combat. It's not how I intended to start this little session with Sam, but yeah, sacred tears are important because there's only just enough throughout the playthrough, so I definitely don't want to miss one. How did we miss this one? It was Bellum Church all along. Son of a gun. There we go. 11 plus 8 flasks. That's a good number. But yeah, what to do now? God, all sorts of horrible goblins over here, trolls and wraiths and whatnot. It's not a pleasant area at all. But at least we can drop aggro by getting into a scrap with Riley. Now we need to rush the bugger down before they crossbow us to death. Jeez. Okay, we're going to get Scarlet Rotted if we're not careful. There's a bit of frostbite for your troubles. And... oh, jeez. I was trying to do my special to finish her off. Didn't work out. Stun locked to death. So Riley's dressed like a confessor as well. I guess that kind of makes sense. That Riley would be a confessor extracting confessions from people in the same manner as Crepus, given as they use the Crepus crossbow and all that gubbins. It all fits in the lore. Right, maybe fewer jump attacks this time, more just ground attacks. I mean, that's a cool move. Jeez. Constantly getting off their bloody flasks when I don't want them to. Ah, Bloodblade dance, come on. There we go. That is a lot of fun, swooshing and flying around all over the shop. And that's another job done for the old manor. Now it's Shaded Castle time, but this time we've got some vague idea of where we're going and what we're doing. Which is to say, we're going straight to the Site of Grace, and we're just running away from anything that gets in our way. Now, can we just run across this way and avoid all the depraved perfumers? Snag ourselves a bit of loot whilst we're around and about. Basilisks, though. They're not the friend that we want. A moth tried to get in my way. Lulu swung into action to deal with it. You go, look at Lulu. It's behind you, by the way. You silly cat. You're looking in entirely the wrong direction now, Plus. Come on with you. Do we have to go back up here? The fact that I can't remember exactly where we need to go might hamper us somewhat. But fear not, friends, for we shall push on regardless. Past all these hugging boys, who very much want to hug us, and past that perfumer who just wants to murk us. Or make us smell nice. Right, this is back down in the basilisk area. That's no fun. There's another perfumer. Ah, there we go. There's the ladder up. So over here somewhere is the Site of Grace. Was the item up here worth grabbing? Not really, no. But yeah, somewhere around here there's a ladder that leads to the Grace. Ouch. Oh, I think Lulu's spotted the moth again. Oh. Now, can we climb up there? No, we have to climb up there. And there's the Grace. Good. Right. Now, is there anything terribly important over here worth grabbing before we run back and deal with that clean rot knight? Probably not. You, we're not going to give a moment to think, because if we do, you'll mess us up. Good. Down here is loot and perhaps a revenant. Where's the Revenant elsewhere? Yeah, the Revenant might be elsewhere. Oh yeah. This is where our grabby friend tries to get us, but fails. Because it's just too dang slow. Yeah, amazing what a difference it makes having a bit of experience in an area. I mean, we're still probably going to die when we fight that Clean Rot Knight, but Sammy almost looks like she knows what she's doing around here. Excuse me, slugs, I have gone the wrong way a little bit, but we won't worry about that. I mean, we might worry a bit about that, because we're still getting a bit poisoned up over here. You really are awful at spotting people coming at you. Just the worst. Oh, forgot about you. It should be tricky to forget about ambushes when there's one round every freaking corner. And yet, I still forget about the buggers. Nice. That one I didn't forget about. That one I didn't forget about either. Good. Now let's rush this bugger down before any trouble happens. Oh, come on. There we go. Problem solved. Now, I'm pretty sure I just heard a yowling noise from upstairs, so I'm going to go check that out, because that's probably our guest cat Tandy trying to eat Cherry Bear.